Back for another crack at the mackerel.
Well, I was hoping to see Spanish mackerel out on this reef. The conditions were right, the moon phase was right, the right time of the day, but anyway, it wasn't to be. I saw a big Queensland groper slinking off the side of the reef, some big Samson fish, so I thought, oh, I better check my good Jew hole. I was giving these series of cracks a good scan looking for Jew. I finally saw one slinking out around the back of the cave. Anyway, got down on top of him. I really needed to put a stone shot on. He was in a terrible position as far as tangling everything up, and didn't quite go according to plan. If I can pull the Jew straight out of the crack and lead him the right way, I will. But in this situation, he's facing up the back of the cave. He's got way too much shooting line. He's going berserk straight up because I haven't stoned him. I didn't want to put too much tension on because you can easily cut that line. Even though it's 500-pound jinkai, I can easily cut it off on the coral. I had a quick breathe up on the surface and then back down to untangle him. You can see the Jew's still well hooked up. I've got my flopper tuned properly, so I'm not worried the shaft's going to pull out of him, but didn't want him to get cut off and swim off with that shaft. It's incredible the injuries that this Jewfish had on it. It had been attacked by quite a big shark from the size of the radius of the bite mark on it. Was well and truly through the process of healing up. It was going to survive it, but it's just amazing how it could do that. With all the banging around in the cave, he's completely destroyed my Rob Allen shaft. But anyway, I got a lot of nice fish from that one shaft, so eventually you have to lose them. Anyway, fortunately I had my spare gun with me, so I wasn't out of action for the diving. I could keep going.
Nice Jew. Oh, sharks got hold of him. Still went hard and destroyed my shaft though.
Here you really get a good idea of the injuries that this Jewfish has suffered. That's an incredible radius bite mark. Must have been a very big shark that got him. Rake marks on the tail, the dorsal fin, the whole lot. On another day's diving, I met up with my mate the Bigrig. I went out in my little tinny and chasing mackerel, which was unfortunately not to be again. But anyhow, took him to this cave mark, which I've had for quite a while, and it never fails to produce these big, beautiful Moses perch and sometimes other fish like mangrove jacks and even Jewfish. These Moses perch are a beautiful eating fish. I like to shoot them when they've turned pink. I always think they're a little bit on the small side when they're still brown coloured. But anyhow, this was a lovely specimen.
Oh, nice.
Moses perch like a good bit of structure, like a cave or big overhanging ledges. And once you've found a good spot like this, it pays to remember it, because year after year new Moses perch will come to these same places. Well, the Bigrig doesn't miss too many good fish, but he hasn't seen this beautiful Goldspot wrasse just poking out from the cave. Fortunately, on my way down I did see it, and I've chased it around, and after a little while I managed to put a good shot into it. This is not a giant, they get a lot bigger than this, and the big ones tend to be a lot paler looking underwater and very red when you bring them up to the surface. But anyway, this was still a beautiful eating size fish, and I was very, very happy to get a crack at it.
Ah, look!
Oh, that's a lovely fish.
Yahoo! Nice! There's more fish in that cave, Rig.
Yeah, what do you reckon? More in the cave?
Yeah, more in there. Yeah.
I got this bit of video footage of the cave after we'd shot a couple of nice fish out of it and all the other good ones had left. So just to give you a good idea of what this structure looks like. Beautiful pebbly bottom, nearly completely closed opening, and then good area for fish to hide out in. All these bullseyes, another great indicator. So yeah, perfect bit of structure. Well, the fish were pretty slow, there was no Spanish mackerel anywhere, so we decided to zip off to one of our really good lobster spots and dive that. This is a complicated series of cracks and caves and quite challenging country, a lot of it. A lot of places the lobsters can get out of reach, and it's much better if you can work as a team. So here we are, we're going to chase this oversized and another legal backwards and forwards until we finally pull them out.
Oh yeah, it's there. Can you hang on to my bag?
Yeah.
We finally got this lobster to hole up in a crack where we could just reach him. Had to really squeeze into the crack and took a bit of working around. Had, as you'll see, quite a few goes to get this guy out. So tantalising, you can get your fingers onto the side of him, but just that little bit further you need to be able to pull it out. Anyway, this will give you a good idea of just working him around and not going too crazy to make sure that you actually catch it. Well, I nearly had him that time, but I've worked out the strategy now. I'm going to tickle him up a bit, get my hand underneath it, work up, and hopefully he'll wriggle around like he did that time, and I'll be able to get my hand around his horn. Once I've got a really good grip on that, he's coming with me. Well, the plan's worked. Once that lobster can feel my hand right underneath him, he knows he's in serious trouble and he's got to go. And that movement out, just that little bit movement out has given me enough to be able to get my hand right round his horns, and out he comes.
Nice.
Well, this is where the teamwork really pays off. I've chased this cray, he's just out of reach here, no way I can get him. I've chased him and got him to bolt up the end of the cave. The big rig's blocking off the entrance to that. He's had a look at him and thought, geez, I better do a Yui, and unfortunately for him, he's gone straight back into my slips catching hands. Spotted this other nice big legal in a real undercut bowl. I was a bit nervous. I thought I'd probably be able to get out of reach under there, but he didn't. He swung right round in a circle and yeah, managed to get a good grip of him by the horns, and number 2 in the bag. Well, you're never going to get them all. This guy was sitting in front of a really long tunnel. Just had a quick snatch at him. Sometimes you never know. He might just make a mistake and you get hold of his horns, but not to be on this occasion. Here's a Panelyrus versicolor. We don't get too many of them down here, especially not any decent size. This is a very common lobster you find up on the Barrier Reef in North Queensland, and pretty little things.
So this one, 18 centimetres exactly. Perfect, you can keep him. But this one, is a centimetre over. About a centimetre over. Can't keep this one.
Female.
It's a female, yeah. You can see it had eggs, but not anymore.
Yeah, that's not the
Yeah. A spot here and here. So yeah, grooming claw on the last pair of legs. The dot here and here on the female. Double row of pleopods. Doubles. Alright, over you go. It's a little bit chilly.